Dr. Rosen-Sharp from the Aurora Veterinary Clinic, and I have some tips and helpful hints about owning a pet and the costs that you need to think about. People ask me all the time whether they should get a puppy or a kitten or an adult dog or cat, and it really depends on what your lifestyles are like. If you have the time to train a puppy, then certainly it's nice to have a puppy, because then you know that they don't have any kind of behavioral problems that they might have come with after having had a previous owner. And a kitten, of course, is a lot more energetic than an older cat. If you are a more sedate person, you're gone more, then it might be better to get an older dog or cat. With a puppy and a kitten, you do have to go through a series of vaccinations, as well as having them spayed or neutered. And so these are additional costs that you would not have with an older dog or cat if those procedures had already been performed. Either way, whether you have a young dog, puppy, kitten, older dog, older cat, they all require yearly well health exams, as well as appropriate vaccinations. Dogs and cats both require heartworm preventatives, flea medication, so you do need to factor those costs in. So typically for a first year with a puppy and a kitten, you could be looking anywhere from $900 to $1,500 for, depending on the size of the pet. Annual costs for an adult pet probably run about maybe $300 to $600, depending, of course, on the size of the pet. Larger dogs, the heartworm preventative and flea medications do cost more, just because they're larger. If your dog is being boarded at a kennel, or actually your cat as well, there are routine vaccinations that those facilities will require. A dog usually will need to have had a rabies vaccine that's updated. In Ohio, both cats and dogs are required to have rabies vaccines every 3 years. Most dogs are required to have their distemper vaccine, which also has hepatitis, parainfluenza, parvovirus, and leptospirosis, but most of those vaccines are given on a 3-year basis after they've had their first series as a puppy. Cats generally get feline panleukopenia, or otherwise known as feline distemper vaccines, and their upper respiratory vaccines. They are also need to have a rabies vaccine every 3 years. Dogs, before going into a boarding facility or anywhere where they're near any other dogs, such as dog parks or daycare facilities, even walking in the park where there another dog might have been, they do require Bordetella vaccine, which is an infectious respiratory disease complex vaccine. This time of year, we always think about all of those bugs that dogs and cats can get, and certainly fleas and ticks are high on our list. We do recommend that they be on some sort of flea product during the summer months, all the way into the fall, until we've had a couple good hard frosts. Heartworm prevention is required all year long, not just in the warmer months. Even though they are carried by mosquitoes, northeastern Ohio weather is pretty fickle, and sometimes you can have some warm days in the wintertime where there are mosquitoes around. Also, most of these preventatives also prevent internal parasites, worms, hookworms, whipworms, roundworms. All of those types of worms actually can be transmitted to people, even, and especially children. So by putting those heartworm preventions on your cat and giving the pills to your dog, you're actually protecting your family. So when you're looking at the APL at all those cute dogs and cats, please try to remember that those dogs and cats are an investment. Certainly they will give you years of love for that investment, but you do need to think about them costing more than that $25 or $50 adoption fee. Something to think about also is to have pet health insurance. That way, if something would happen to your pet and it would not be afford to have done, either surgery or whatever kind of procedure that would need to be performed, that insurance would help you have that done. Because there are quite a few people that come in and have illness, these poor pets have illnesses or accidents or injuries or whatever, and they are unable to pay for those to be fixed. If they had taken out insurance on their pets when they were still healthy and young, then it would be taken care of. Just remember, it's important to be a responsible pet owner, because when you're thinking about getting a pet, it's not just a little furry thing that lives in your house. You really do need to take care of it and consider the financial